And greetings, my dear fantasists, once again. And with the group A almost coming to the conclusion and again the final games played tomorrow, I believe it's time to have a look at the group B. And well, it seems quite obvious that Heroic are clear favorites over here. However, we all know the way Heroic are playing, and you never know which player will kind of have a decent rating. It can be Kadian that's gonna go nuts. It can be Jabi who's performing incredibly well for past couple events. Maybe it's gonna be Tezus. Who knows? Maybe Storm decides to kind of wake up and do something finally. But if I have to pick right now between Storm and Jabi, well, it's obviously Jabi is a clear favorite right now. In terms of a game with the Movistar, um, Movistar are really disappointing recently. The only bright point is Davi G. He improved drastically. We saw glimpses of his potential like last year around the bronze probably major, where like occasionally he was performing really well, but then like in some other games he was like, well, back to his net levels. So Martinez, after first like impressive event, he kind of dropped down massively. Southall, I don't know, kind of doesn't really performs the level we expect. Mopos is at all kind of meh, and Alex, well, Alex is just consistent. So, mm, quite obvious that Heroic should be taking this one as 2-0, but I don't know if it's gonna be 2-0 where Heroic just gonna leave no chance. But if we're gonna have a look at the potential maps that's gonna be played, then we're gonna see that the map pool for Movistar riders doesn't really look that promising at all. They can try and go for like ancient punish pick, which potentially can work, or they can and try to go for gamble pick on Anubis. But then, like, what are they gonna do after that, right? Because for Heroic, it looks like they have to ban 3 maps. So they have to get rid of Anubis, Ancient, and Nuke, because these are the lowest percentage maps for them. Like any other map, they ready to play. And for Movistar, probably the best option is try to go for Anubis pick, because potentially they can punish them, and they have played against like, not the strongest teams, but as always, it's uh, it's a good option to try and go for this type of punish pick. Then try to get rid of like a map like Overpass, probably Inferno as well. And like if you're gonna get lucky, you might have like something like a Vertigo or Mirage for the Decider, which obviously Mirage can go either way. But in general, yeah, this game looks like a 2-0, but there is a chance that Movistar gonna take a map if they go for that punish pick. So BIG against Complexity. Um, both teams are underwhelming. Big after Hyped Edition uh, played like what one event, lost to Spirit Academy, and that's it. That was irrelevant event. So because they have to practice, but obviously against Team Spirit Academy, which are on the rise and all the stars performing really well, this was quite difficult for them. Uh, Tapson is dropping his rating massively recently, which can be a good option for those that believe in big. Also, if you look at the prices, then every player is very cheap, and potentially, if you're looking for like a full silver team, then picking a filler from big might not be the worst option, especially because if they lose, let's say against any of these teams, they're most likely gonna play against either Imperial or Mouse in like a lower bracket. If it's gonna be Mouse, then it's kind of gonna be like 50-50, and yeah, potentially Big might be a decent pick. Um, in terms of complexity, uh, for me, complexity is just a team to avoid. I'll be completely honest. Grim, I'm glad for him, but I already mentioned that multiple times. I don't see how complexity gonna do well, right? And I'm probably gonna say it now. I don't even think that complexity gonna make it to the major. It's a bold call, especially we have a long time. But if we're gonna go to major lab and we're gonna see the where is it? North America. RMRs. Okay, not ready yet. All right, we're not gonna see this yet. Okay, this was the wrong thing. It's not up yet, but anyway, if we check the RMRs, where's the events? Let's go for the events. We're gonna see that RMRs will have quite. Here we go. Asia. Here we go. Not yet. Asia RMR, America's RMR. Here we go. And we're gonna see Furia, Liquid. These two are most likely gonna go through 100%. I don't see the way for Liquid to not qualify unless somehow they screw up like massively and I know something really shitty happens. Furia, even though they have a lot of problems right now, they're still gonna make it. Then we have 3 spots left, and then we have Pain, Complexity, MIBR, Imperial, Bestia, Fluxo, and 00 Nation. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams for 3 spots, right? If we're gonna go head to head, Complexity against Pain, uh, it's 50-50. Complexity against MIBR, again 50-50. Complexity against Imperial, I will have to give a slight edge to Imperial. Complexity to Bestia, uh, probably 55 to 45 for complexity against Fluxo. This can be tricky, but again, 55 to 45 to complexity, and then against 00 Nation. I don't know. 00 Nation might be on the rise as well, and if I have to pick 3 teams that probably gonna qualify after Fury and Liquid, I would say one of them 100% has to be Bestia. Uh, I like the way they're playing. Then most likely it's gonna be Imperial. There's a second team, because like Cello probably gonna farm a lot. He's gaining a good shape, and I believe Uncle Fallen also wants to go to Paris. And then we're gonna have 1 slot left for 1, 2, uh, 3, 4 teams. And which team gonna make it? You never know. So it's gonna be really, really tight for them. So with that said, complexity, I'd avoid complexity, and in the big against complexity matchup, I'm gonna give a slight edge to big, probably only because they're more structured and uh, they have more firepower. Even Keto on a good day, just gonna probably 1v4 like many of them. In terms of matchup of Heroic against Big, it's quite obvious that Heroic most likely gonna take this one. I'm not sure against Big if they're gonna make 2-0 or 2-1, but again, for Heroic it should be easy W. and then Heroic is just gonna go advance to the upper final and gonna get some petting points. However, as I already said, yeah, we don't know which Heroic players are gonna perform really well, or it can be anyone. So it's a kind of gamble. Uh, Fury against Imperial. Okay, this is interesting because apparently Furia cut off drop, but on HLTV would still see drop in the lineup. So we kind of have to wait and see who's gonna actually play. If it's gonna be drop, well, I don't know which way it's gonna go. Again, right now, we don't know how Furia are practicing, what they're doing. Maybe my Brazilian friend's gonna help me out with this. Is there uh, any news from Furia camp or whatever? What they're doing? Because Imperial played recently a couple of events. We see that Fallen is in good shape. Cello is in a good shape. Jota is doing recently decent. Even Vini, at some games, he was quite good. Bolt, for me, Bolt is probably the next player to be cut off. And if he's cut off, I'd like to see that the guy from Fluxo, uh, Lukosi, in the team. Probably would be a good addition. All right. So this game is like 50-50 maybe at the moment because like Fury is obviously on the downfall. We have no idea what they're doing. Imperial on the other side are on the rise. We've seen a couple of games from them. They play decent. So it's kind of 50-50 game. But for me, I just don't have much faith in Fury at the moment. And I rather go with the risky pick of Imperial and Uncle Fallen maybe trying to show something. Then just go with the Furia, especially with the prices of Furia players most likely being overpriced as always. To 16 to 26, and players that don't really do any damage to the rest of the teams are in this price range where you can actually grab a Tapson instead of drop or just instead of art. It's gonna make more sense. So against mouse, okay, this is the interesting one. Uh, Potentially, mouse should be winning this one, right? But if we look at the matchup and we actually compare the map pools, then it's not so easy for mouse. Uh, Mouse don't really have uh, any maps played recently, so we don't have stats. We have no idea what they're capable of. However, we saw in RMR, and even against Astralis, they were decent. But against any other like tier two-ish team, they were struggling. So Astralis right now is a tier two-ish team, unfortunately for Astralis and for their fans. And obviously Device and BlameF, they just far ahead. Uh, can't wait for Zip to be replaced for Zyphon, but that's probably gonna happen after the major or just short before that, because they need to qualify, and if they do qualify, then obviously they can make like a last minute change, blah blah blah. They can try to figure out something, and then Zyphon gonna step in, and maybe they're gonna play with him, uh, unless they break some rules for that. Because Zip right now is just way too outdated. Um, so on this side, Portuguese boys are very welcome here, but again, they look like a team that's probably gonna fight with the Movistar Riders for the last place in the group. And yeah, for me, Maus is probably gonna win this one. 2-1 is probably gonna be a scrappy win. 2-1, and yeah, and then Soul gonna be destroyed by Furia, and Maus gonna play Imperial most likely. In which game, again, experience of Uncle Fallen probably gonna be uh, I would say crucial. And then upper final, Imperial in my book against Heroic. Heroic will just probably 2-1 Imperial. Um, they may be gonna check some of the new strats or whatever. Because on this side, I was completely right. Cloud9 in great form. Outsiders also in good shape. Fnatic decent. G2 just practicing. They want to see farm some stats. So on this side, heroic versus big, then heroic go through. On this side, Imperial versus Mouse, then Imperial go through to the upper final. And yeah, which team's potentially gonna farm points? Most likely, mm, most likely Mouse gonna have some decent performances from main guys. Like I want Search on my team 100%. Then the next player that I do want on my team is Cello. It's 208k for best rifle in Imperial. And if we're looking at the sniper, then I 100% need Angle Fallen. So this is my core. Now I need the Jabi probably, and I'm left with 179k, which means that I can't really afford any decent player. Which means that I have to make adjustments, and maybe to go with the Shush instead of Jabi. Is it gonna free some money? Not really. So, this is weird. Do I want to take Torzi? I don't know. Do I want to pick 2 players from each team and go for super gamble and try to expect that Imperial and Mouse are gonna finish first and second uh, in a whole group, like lower final or whatever. Like actually, it's not gonna even happen. But potential like Imperial or Mouse, they can go to the lower final and farm some points all the way. Because for me, it looks like whoever's gonna drop to the lower final gonna destroy any of these 3 teams. And yeah, for me, it's just maybe even makes sense to pick a player from Mouse again. And do I want Torsia or do I want JDC? If I pick JDC, I'm left with the what is it, 198k, which probably leaves me a decent option. Even Story is a good option. Um, hmm, that's interesting. Because let's say Furia saw. Oh, this is interesting. Because if we look at the Soul guys, then Story is obviously a good option. He's a sniper, so most likely he's gonna have a decent points. And again, uh, if I just need a sniper and I want Jabi, then I will have, let's say, Story as a sniper, and I even can pick JDC, or I can pick Winning. And yes, I will have 4 players from the bottom side, and obviously Story is most likely gonna be like even 7th or 8th place. Then why should I do that? On the other side, I can replace Story with the Torzi, and in this scenario, I will be going with the 2 players from 2 teams from the bottom side, which obviously is not the best option. Um, is it actually worth it? I don't know, but if I try and gamble with a BIG pick, then let's say I can try to grab let's say Crimbo and Kita, and I even have like 9k left, which probably can upgrade me another player. Bolts, I don't know. I don't really want bolts. But again, mm, I do want Uncle Fallen on my team. And if I take Uncle Fallen, 187, 187 is JDC again. And no option for Kita. So this kind of sucks. Unless I change... Actually, it's not going to change anything. Oh, this is a tough one. So I do want Jabi, and instead of Uncle Fallen, unfortunately, I have to go for Torzi. But yeah, Imperial. It's a really good option, but at the moment, um, I would say that Mouse probably are the better option to go from and pick one of them. And from this side, maybe Keto is gonna do something decent, and maybe it's worth picking Keto. I'll be completely honest. Maybe it's the time where Keto is gonna have a decent rating against Complexity, maybe a decent rating against Heroic, and at the end of the day, 190k, maybe it's okay. So with all this said, that's gonna be my lineup, and obviously Torzi is gonna be a sniper. Keto probably the headshot machine because like his aim is sick, and then leader on jobbing. In terms of boosters, probably assist on Torzi. I would say Mr. Consistent because like they're gonna be starting at least one map on CT side, and on that map, if he's not performing well, it's kind of crap. So against the complexity, Keto is gonna be traded a lot most likely. So yeah, this is the team I'm gonna go with, and as always, you know the rest. Drop your teams. Let me know what you think, and good luck. I'll see you next time when we discuss Group C.